Everyone suit up. All hands for this one.
To old friends and new, welcome to Dragon Age the Veilguard. From the intricacies of character creator, how to photo your favorites, and Storm Wisehopped, I've come back from the void to do all of this yet again. Thanks for joining me on this multi-part series unveiling the latest Dragon Age. My name is Ash, and okay, it's been a while. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping, shall we? Any spoilers will be marked at the beginning of each video. In this one, there are no story spoilers. A few pretty scenes, but narratively out of context. All this gameplay is from my perspective, playing the game at a preview event held by BioWare at EA headquarters earlier this month. Also, as a necessary disclaimer, I am part of the Dragon Age Community Council. For many years now, I have advised BioWare on the game in various stages of its development, and have played much more than what was at the capture event. That said, no worries. All spoilers will be explicitly marked. I want everyone's first playthrough to be special, but also want to accommodate those who have an interest in being just a little bit spoiled. Let's start with the character creator, arguably the most elaborate one Dragon Age has ever seen. Honestly, that any BioWare game has ever offered. You'll have access to an incredible number of head morphs, facial sliders, colors and tones, body shapes, tattoos, and hairs. Especially the hair. I chose the Qunari Rook, not because I was deluded into thinking I could do some romances this preview event. No. But because there are so many strangers who have been talking nonsense on the Dead Bird app. Because contrary to the tourists, derogatory, telling you all Qunari in this game look the same, they are actually mostly limited by one's own creativity. And as an aside, I also show the hair and tattoo options for humans in this video. A lot of them are also available for elves and dwarves, but as I ran out of time, I could not capture the specific Thalassian and dwarven facial tattoos. Nevertheless, timestamps are in the description if you'd like to skip around. TLDR, this is not another 6 versions of shaved head again. No, the hair moves in-game with such grace. The body morphs allow more personalized protagonists. The facial sliders are so varied. You can make the most gorgeous or the most grotesque Rook you can imagine. Here are a few things that will help you craft your perfect character. Customizable background. You can customize the lighting while in the character creator. Yes, this was a huge problem in Inquisition, and yes, we no longer have to suffer. So if you want to check what your character looks like in-game with all that makeup and glitter, you can do so. Left and right options. You can customize the left and right sides of certain attributes like head shape and eyes. Specifically on the latter, characters can have heterochromia, where eyes possess different colors. While there are presets you can work with, if you wish, you can customize the hue. Now let's say after this you don't like how you look. The mirror transformation is easily accessible after the prologue inside of the lighthouse. You can change your look at any point inside this room. Now that we're out of the appearance tab, we can start playing the game, right? No. Class and faction. Class is the same as previous games, warrior, mage, rogue, but faction is where it gets interesting. On screen, you can read details behind each faction, especially the perks you gain being part of that faction, as well as my favorite, the different outfits you start with and can gain under that faction. The starting armor you wear at the beginning of the game, the casual wear that you walk around the lighthouse in, the central hub of your operations, and aspirational armor, which represents the signifying look of that faction. The Lords of Fortune have beautiful gold laid on leather and cerulean, Shadow Dragons textured in teal and vermilion, the Crows elegant with dark feathers and silver embellishments. It's all very pretty. Veilguard has a few new factions that have only been in the books and comics, so if you want to learn more, each has a specific backstory plate describing Rook's past leading up to Veilguard. Playstyle. Playstyle is self-explanatory. It's how you play the game. You have the option of choosing from presets or customizing your own difficulty, like no death mode. I skipped around. I started on Storyteller, which is a good 1 out of 6 difficulty-wise, so that you can concentrate on the story. And later I bumped up to Adventurer, which is a good 3 out of 6. You can change difficulty at any time. Voice. You have the option of choosing one of 4 voices, 2 masculine and 2 feminine. Alex Jordan, Brioni Corrigan, Erika Ishii, and Jeff Berg are the voices behind Rook. For this series, I chose option feminine 1, whose voice holds a British accent. I think it's Geordie, but sadly I'm American, so I can't confirm. Pivoting away, you can also change the pitch between medium and low, so if you want sultry, you can get sultry. Now, you might have noticed the right side. If this isn't your first time playing Dragon Age, the game gives the option of customizing your experience. You don't need keep anymore. The game allows you to not only input choices from Dragon Age Inquisition, but also customize your Inquisitor. So the villains rejoice. Or despair, most likely both. I'm not allowed to share this screen just yet. It's likely what we played was not finalized, so to be determined. Now, while we're running through the other hairstyles and tattoos, I gathered a number of character creator questions from my community posts and Twitter. If you have any questions that have not been answered here, feel free to ask them below. I'll be dropping in here and there to answer more. First batch of questions. Thanks, Mario. Can we get a list of last names for Rook? How does Rook's lineage tie into their faction? How wild can we go with their backstories? So to start, here are the names. Thorn for the Grey Wardens, Aldwyr for the Veil Jumpers, Merkar for the Shadow Dragons, Ingobar for the Morn Watch, Lydir of the Lords of Fortune, and Deriva for Antivan Crows. I will not take responsibility for totally mispronouncing any of those. Surnames are attached to factions, not so much lineage. Well, okay, there's technicality actually that lies with the Deriva name for the Crows. Now, King Fulgeno II, ruler of Antiva, had many bastard children, and for those children, they have a choice between exile or joining the Antivan Crows. Viago Deriva, seen in the comics Into Winter Nights, was one of those children, and he chose to be a crow. Actually, ended up becoming the 5th Talon to be exact. It could be Rook is related to Viago, was adopted by the Deriva family, or has a very loose blood claim to the throne of Antiva. All these things may be true, or not at all, remains to be seen. But as far as backstories, each character does have a pre-existing backstory leading up to Veilguard. It seems there's room to headcanon beyond what Rook was doing up to the game, but what you choose in character creator seems to help craft a specific narrative of who your Rook is. Next question. Are all Dwarf Rooks surfacers, or can we make them hail from Orzammar? And are all Qunari Rooks Tal Vashoth like the Inquisitor, or do some faction combinations allow them to be Qunari agents? Based on what I've seen so far, the faction seems to take priority over lineage. By that extension, Dwarf Rooks are surfacers, and Qunari Rooks are either Tal Vashoth or Vashoth. For everyone watching, as a quick explainer, Vashoth means someone who was never part of the Qun, and Tal Vashoth as someone who has left the Qun. And on the idea of Rook being a Qunari agent, well, I'll just go ahead and say there's a very high chance of no to that idea. For spoilers' sake, I won't say why until another video. Overall, if there is more backstory beyond what we see in character creator, I did not see it in the vertical slice we got to play in Act 1. And one last question to close, because I think it is important bringing this up. Will there be enough WTF moments after all these spoilers? I'm worried about the storyline after all this information that I didn't want to hear before playing the game myself. I totally feel that. And to that I say, absolutely. The majority of info that has been shown up to now by gaming media has been from Act 1 and a sliver of Act 2. There's a lot to be had. I mentioned this on Twitter X, but there is much to be discovered. That all said, ask more in the comments and I'll answer what I can. Or on Twitter X, Blue Sky, or my Discord server. All links are down below. See you in the next one. And as always, Venera and Ansel.